Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 69th episode of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have Mika Francis, who's a marketing administrator at Socialtap. Welcome, Mika.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem, and thanks for fitting me in before your busy day at work.
That's okay.
I appreciate it. And so, look, normally on this show, I'm catching up with someone who's graduated a while ago, but you've just finished. So you've just finished a degree in creative industries, majoring in marketing and social media.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but now, which is starting to happen more and more, which is really exciting, you were already working at Socialtap while you were studying and finishing your degree. So tell me about how that all came about.
Yeah, I was. So I was really lucky in the social media major that I was doing with you. We do an internship, and it was I did it right at the start of this year. So I think about February, and it was about a month and a half or so at Socialtap that I did it. And I was really lucky. I had the absolute best time, and it was a bit of a shock to me, but at the very end, my boss offered if I wanted to stay on, and I did. So they were amazing through like finishing uni. I was just able to do like 2-3 days a week in between when I was at uni. So yeah, very, very lucky. And yeah, I finished all my classes and assignments and everything a couple of weeks ago, and I've gone full time with them since then. So yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Very lucky.
Oh, congratulations. So,
Thank
clearly
you.
you impressed them on your internship because they didn't want you to leave. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And tell me about your role at Socialtap. What are you actually doing?
Yeah, so I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of supporting the client managers. So I have a few clients that I do work with the most, but lots of social media. I do a lot of content, reels, TikTok, things like that. And then just like monthly content. And then I'm starting to get into sort of like the EDM space and yeah, just things like that. And pretty much just, it's really fun because I get to do some real random things as well. Helping out with photo shoots, planning photo shoots, yeah, helping out, yeah, it's really great. It's great to be able to help out in lots of different things. Like I'm not expected to know everything, but it's great to be able to learn it all. Yeah.
And so I'm just going to throw this question at you because
Yeah.
what is one of the most random things? Like I used to find this when I worked in television. Like I'd be doing
Yeah.
something going, honestly, this is something I'm probably never going to do again. Like,
Yeah.
so what is one of those things that that you've had to do in your role at Socialtap that you thought,
Yeah.
well, this is a first?
Yeah. So we were doing a photo shoot with these little kids' toys. And so we had the videographer, and then I had to go get all these props, and one of them was a fish. And so I had to get some fish tank props, and then we had to go to the river and put the toys in the river. And like we were videoing this fish in the river, and we would like pants rolled up in the mud, like, and we were all like, we are never like, when would you ever do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So many things like that. Yeah.
That's good. And so moving on with the questions now, what's been some of the best career advice you've been given?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's technically advice, but I was listening to someone speak a while ago, and she sort of said that it was amazing. It's kind of amazing in this job that it's sort of about we get to live our dreams through like letting the clients live their dreams and like see their dreams come true. So I guess it wasn't advice, but I kind of took it as advice to be like, yeah, it's amazing that what we get to do is help people with their dreams, and I guess that brings our dreams to life as well. And I guess if I could do this for as long as I'm going to do it and keep that in mind with everything that I do, I think that would be a pretty cool way to approach everything. So it wasn't advice, but I kind of took it as advice.
Yeah, so it's almost like, I don't know who said this, but it's almost like we rise by lifting others. So
Yeah,
so sort of focusing on
definitely.
helping others. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really a nice perspective. I like that.
Yeah. I like I always knew I loved this, but I couldn't it was weird. I knew I loved it, but I didn't know exactly why. And then I only heard this like maybe a month or two ago, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's definitely why I like it so much.
Yeah, because it's almost like our client's success is our success.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now that you have finished your university journey for the moment, because you may come back one day, never say never. And so now that you finish your undergraduate degree, what has been some of the most useful things that you've learned that have helped you in your current role at Socialtap?
Yeah, I think obviously all the knowledge and theory and everything like that's been great. I wouldn't know what I do without it. But probably the most valuable has been the real life kind of experience, like my internship with Socialtap, but then also there's a lot of classes that I did with you that, you know, we did work with real clients. And I think that, like, you know, getting to understand that it might take a while for them to get back to you. And if you have a deadline in mind, it's not just your deadline, it's somebody else's as well. So I think that sort of insight was really important and very, very like applicable. Yeah.
Excellent. And now on the flip side of that, what's been something that, or some sort of skill or knowledge that you wish you'd learned at university that you've really needed now?
Yeah. I think I would say it's sort of like on a similar vein, but I would say maybe, I guess in classes, and I don't know how you would even do this at uni, but in classes, you're always sort of working on one project at a time, and you kind of have like a set amount of weeks to maybe do a set amount of content or something like that. But I think when you're in sort of an agency or something like that, it's like, you know, you might have to do the amount of content that I did for one assignment might be done in like an hour or something like that. So I think that like mindset of being able to just turn it on real quick and like go with it, I think is something that I don't know how you would do it at uni, but I think, yeah, that's something that's definitely been useful to learn as I've been going through with Socialtap.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. And I think that's one of the, when I check in with interns as well, that's been one of the biggest differences is, just having to produce in a much shorter time frame. I think we have like there's that when we do the analytics course where you have to do sort of that social listening plan within that's probably the only one, but maybe more sort of simulations around time and the pressure, and also the pressure, that pressure to be creative. Like you've got you've got an hour, be creative.
Yeah, when I very first started at my internship, like it was just something that I had to kind of get used to. It's like, I mean, now it's like kind of second nature, but at first I didn't realize it would be such a sort of thing to like, oh, I've got to figure that out like right now. It's been cool though to notice how at first it was something that I couldn't necessarily do straight away, but now it's like noticing that I've learned it. Yeah,
it's almost like building up a muscle to
that's right,
to do it. And so when you have to be creative quickly with a fixed deadline, what sort of things do you do to try and spark ideas?
I would say probably just look at like similar things. So if it's content, I'll go back and look at other content, or just to sort of get in the mind frame of that particular client or that particular type of thing. Like, you know, if I'm doing Pinterest, it's very different to Instagram or something like that. So just sort of do a little bit of a scroll in whatever I'm doing, or if I'm about to make a video or like think of an idea for a video, go and look at like the other videos from that sort of type or whatever. That's probably the thing that I've found is like the best kind of switch on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Because everyone's got different things that help them to be creative, but they're really good tactics.
Yeah.
And tell me, because now you're really working in the social media space, what's something that you've this is almost sounds like what we used to do in class. What's something that you've learned in the last 2 weeks? About, it could be a tool, a platform change, whatever that you think is really interesting.
We've actually just recently started using this tool called Plannable for social media, and I work on a bit of I will create content, and then one of the client managers, whoever I'm doing it for, will review it, and then I can post it out once it's all approved. And Plannable's been really amazing. It's a place where you can upload all your content, but then there's space for it to be approved, and if it hasn't been approved, there's a space for comments where like the person that I'm getting approval from can write, oh, just fix this or change this image or something like that. And it's been really great, very, very efficient, and I'm loving it.
Excellent. So maybe you could even put a link in the comments of this.
I can do that, definitely.
People can check it out.
Yeah,
And
I will.
what advice would you give to, because there's students now coming through doing social media courses, and new for next year, our social media content curation and creation course is now in the marketing major. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
the numbers are increasing. I keep looking every day.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's really good, actually. Yeah.
yeah, so now like all marketing students will be doing social media course, which is really
Yeah,
good.
that's
And
great.
so what advice would you give to, and I won't say students, I'll call them emerging professionals who are still at uni or even just finishing like you have finished. What advice
Yeah.
would you give to them to succeed in their career?
Yeah, I would just say probably just the biggest thing for me, I think, that I've noticed is we probably all come out of uni knowing a similar amount of things and knowing a similar vein of, what we've just been taught. But I think really just letting your personality shine is probably really important. And just not being afraid to, just show who you are. Everybody that you're going to work for are people as well, that you're going to work with every day. And so just don't be afraid to let your personality kind of shine out. And then probably just don't be afraid to ask for help as well. Like, gosh, I started when I hadn't even finished my degree. So there's still so many things that I don't know. And at first it was sort of like, oh, maybe I should know this. But now it's just, it's almost fun getting to like, I don't know that, but like, do you want to teach me? And then, you get to know, and it might be something else you can tuck under your little tool belt. And so definitely just don't be afraid to ask for help, because I think it's fun. I think it's fun getting to be like, oh, I don't know it, but if you want to show me, then I'll know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something that you should stick to throughout your entire career, because
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who knows everything. I've met
Yeah.
people who think they know everything. But they
Yeah.
don't. So there's always new stuff to learn, and particularly, as you know, in social media, because it changes all the time. There's new things coming out.
Definitely.
And we can all just teach each other.
Definitely. Every month at work we have a meeting, and it's basically all about just sharing something that we've learned in the last month. And definitely.
And this is the most important question of the whole show, and that is, who do you like, share, and follow?
In terms of like the marketing world, I love following Later. I've been tagged by multiple people that I work with in some of their things. They like great, helpful stuff, but also very relatable little videos and things that we all have a chuckle about, oh, yep, that happens at work. So that's probably the one that comes to mind the most when I think about this kind of space, and something that gives me a giggle, but also kind of helps to keep me up to date with stuff. I find it's really cool just following. I use Instagram a lot, so I find it's right cool to follow them, and like Hootsuite and all those sort of places. Just because as I'm scrolling through just what I like, that'll pop up, and it's just, oh, yep, cool. And kind of the new things, I'll find them out that way. And then they always like to throw some entertaining things in there too.
Good. So I mean, and maybe you can put links to those in as well.
I can definitely do that.
Yeah, because I mean, the people watching will find that really helpful. So
yeah, for sure.
And so we've got a couple of comments. So Anthony Roberto said, "Good morning, Karen and Mika from glorious Melbourne, Australia, and that it's great to hear about your career insights and advice, Mika. Continued success in the creative industries, and look forward to seeing your amazing work."
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and so we've come to the end of the questions, but do you have any other amazing words of wisdom that you'd like to share before we wrap up this episode?
Oh, I don't know about amazing words of wisdom, but I suppose just on the vein of maybe asking for help. I think something I've always found kind of great is just saying yes to like the opportunities that maybe are a little bit scary, or a little bit, somebody says, oh, do you want to give this a go, especially at work? Maybe your first instinct like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Maybe I'll be like, oh, no, that's not really me. But I think, I've learned a lot by just saying like, sure, I don't know how to do it, but I can give it a go. Just kind of saying yes when you can, I think is important.
Yeah. It's great advice. Great advice. Well, thank you so much for doing this again before you're starting work for the day. So I
That's
appreciate it.
absolutely okay.
And thanks everyone for watching. And next week we're going to have a break for next week because we've got a big planning day at the uni. So confident
Yeah.
be back the following week for episode 70. So I'll let you know who I'll be speaking to a bit closer to the time. So thank you so much, Mika, and a big hello to the team at Socialtap. And I will talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's all right, no problem. Thanks.